Lots of people going to football today, but if you would like to use talkSPORT as an apology to the family that you're sacking off.
The talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Yes, thanks as always to those that suggested clips over the Christmas period. We couldn't listen to everything, so thankfully you do. And some of your work will be featured now. Andy, would you care to kick us off?
Yeah, we start with talkSPORT reporter Dan Dawson getting rudely interrupted at the darts.
But who can go on and make the final and potentially win the title? They would be favourite, whoever came through and made the final there. Oh, they're just testing out the sound system behind me. Oh, marvellous. But I don't know. We know he's competitive. He showed us at the World Match Play.
That would make a good competition. You've got to name all those songs, win tickets for next year. That isn't a competition, by the way, don't hold me to that. And here's our cricket correspondent, John Norman, discussing England team changes ahead of the 5th Ashes Test.
The flip side is, do you really throw in a 20-year-old who's never played cricket?
Why not? It couldn't do any worse.
It's true. Let's be honest, we might as well, the way it's been going. Sling them in.
Including Manchester United, Barca will pay somewhere.
That never happened.
Morning calls and cappuccinos on talkSPORT.
The all-new talkSPORT Weekend Sports Breakfast. Tomorrow morning from 7 on talkSPORT.
The talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Yes, thanks as always to those that suggested clips over the Christmas period. We couldn't listen to everything, so thankfully you do. And some of your work will be featured now. Andy, would you care to kick us off?
Yeah, we start with talkSPORT reporter Dan Dawson getting rudely interrupted at the darts.
But who can go on and make the final and potentially win the title? They would be favourite, whoever came through and made the final there. Oh, they're just testing out the sound system behind me. Oh, marvellous. But I don't know. We know he's competitive. He showed us at the World Match Play.
That would make a good competition. You've got to name all those songs, win tickets for next year. That isn't a competition, by the way, don't hold me to that. And here's our cricket correspondent, John Norman, discussing England team changes ahead of the 5th Ashes Test.
The flip side is, do you really throw in a 20-year-old who's never played cricket?
Why not? It couldn't do any worse.
It's true. Let's be honest, we might as well, the way it's been going. Sling them in. You can explain the rules as you go along.
Following on from that, Alan Brazil had news of a shock selection on breakfast.
We mentioned the new ball. The Aussies took the new ball. He's not going to sleep well tonight. And I'm talking about the captain of England, Johnny Norman.
That's right, so John's the captain.
Yeah.
Billy the trumpet, he's opening the batting with a 20-year-old kid who's never played cricket. Couldn't do any worse.
Couldn't.
And we did enjoy Andy Goldstein's Rocky impression this week.
Let's go to Ron, who's a Chelsea fan. He's up next. Ron, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, yeah. I think we'd have won that, actually, Adrian, if we'd have had...
Adrian?
You knew it was coming, didn't you?
Of course. And staying with the sports bar, this caller sounded none too pleased with Jason Cundy.
Okay, come on, I'm not having that one.
I don't think you're a proper football fan, Stu.
For 50 years.
Really?
You are talking rubbish.
Really?
You are talking rubbish, man. Rubbish. Just let me finish. I will not be accused of not being a proper football fan.
You don't sound like one.
I was watching football before you were born. Now, shut up.
He gets his fishing rod out, Jason. You can hear the devilment in his voice.
Sound like one.
They were on good form last night. I did enjoy. I needed cheering up after that game, so they did cheer me up on the way back, kind of. Anyway, here's Mickey Quinn straying away from his specialist sporting subject, football.
Went to a couple of these basketball games with Portsmouth playing. I tell you, it was just like watching kids' football. They run up one end, then they run up the other, then they run up that end, then they run up the other, then they run up that end, back and forth, back and forth. You know, it's like watching tennis.
Or a basketball match.
Yeah,
which is
really.
actually what it was.
I'm watching a basketball match, Mick. That's the way it tends to work. Back to Big Alan Brazil, here replaying one of the great goals of recent years.
Oh, what a goal from Andy Carroll! That is right out of the top drawer. An overhead kick of real class.
Was that the overhead kick?
No, I think it was a tap-in from 5 yards out by listening to the commentary. Was that the overhead kick?
Brilliant, isn't it? This was a nice return from the break on the Weekend Sports Breakfast.
talkSPORT.
don't know why. I don't always ask this. I want to hear that again, Bill. Can we hear that again?
Talk Sport.
The man who sneezes straight into the microphone, I can't really say too
No,
much. But
we think it was cash blowing his nose, but we're not quite sure.
No. And time now for the TalkSport Caller of the Week to Drive.
Quick one from Simon, a United fan. What do you think, Simon?
Oh, yeah. So I'll just take a mouthful of food.
TalkSport Caller of the Week.
It's Alan once again with more shock news.
Up next, we're talking about Harry Kane, Arsene Wenger, the new president of Liberia, who's a friend of Ginola.
He said he'd leave, didn't he? He said he'd leave if they kept on at him, and he's now become the president of Liberia, Arsene Wenger.
Incredible. And this is Mark Saggers.
Let's speak to our commentator at the City Ground in Sunday Exclusive on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, fair enough, really. You do forget what day it is over Christmas, don't you? Everybody does.
Not when the show's called Sunday Exclusive.
That's true.
Clues in the name.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I think probably.
Probably.
To be fair.
Yeah.
This is Luke Moore with Alan and Ray Parler on breakfast, chatting about the darts final.
But I imagine you guys were getting to bed to get up early at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, I taped. I will watch it today.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Will you really, Al? Will you really watch?
Tapes 2.5 hours of a darts match that you know the result of and then watch it the next day.
Wow. Alan may surprise us all.
A lot of jeopardy there.
He can talk us through, especially a bit of a drubbing as it was. And finally, here's Bob Mills with Max Rushton and a question for a caller.
Mike, can I tell you what someone suggested last time we had this ridiculous and pointless conversation that we're having now? Not me and you, but in general about penalties. Someone said, why not make it this? Why not put the refs totally in control and they either give a free kick or indirect, or they do what they do in rugby, I believe it's rugby league, I'm not au fait on rugby, where they just give a penalty goal. So there you go. You were about to score, that's a goal. I'm not interested in
What do you reckon, Mike?
Say that again.
30-second question. Say it again. We've been here all night, for goodness sake.
Good.
So there we are. There was your clips of the week. These are the thank yous. We're getting to the stage where none of the names in the thank yous are real names. Well, they are real names, but they're just not. I mean, unless one of the front men of Steely Dan, Donald Fagan, sent in a clip this week.
It seems unlikely.
It does seem unlikely. Michael Wolff, also the man who's written this very contentious book about Donald Trump. Apparently he sent us a clip. Smudger, well, I'm buying that one.
Yeah, that's
James Rutland, that seems to work.
Normal, yeah.
The Doberman, that could be a nickname.
That's just a nickname, yeah.
Freddie Rutlands, a lot of Rutlands. Mark Curbit, I hope he does.
Yes.
Roger from Durham, we know that's real.
Oh, yes.
Tanias Snuggs. I don't believe that.
Tanias Snuggs.
Shirley Knott. Shirley Knott, that's made
that's
up.
not a name either.
And Sam. Shirley Knott and Sam. Like a vent act. So there we are. They're all suggested clips that were played. If you hear a clip.
You mentioned that you're good mates with Nigel Clough, and of course the Nottingham Forest connection is there. And we're seeing with McLaren that a good coach is a good coach is a good coach, and often actually a little bit of a rest can do them the power of good. Nigel's been at it with Burton and Derby for a long, long time now. Will he be looking to get back into the game in the new year?
Forgive me if I'm, he's in the game. Is it Sheffield United?
Oh, it's got to Sheffield United. I've gone mad. I've gone absolutely nuts.